and welcome to our discussion on the transformative trends in the automotive sales. My name is Mouna Ayed, I'm your host for today. I would like to welcome our guests, Krantz and Dirk Bott. Welcome. I would propose to start with a short introduction of our guests. So, Ralf, could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Mouna, for the invitation. It's nice to be here. As you said, my name is Krantz. I have been working now in the automotive industry for 25 years. I started my career in 1999 with Toyota, worked for several other companies like Aston Martin and Volvo, and my last job was the general manager of NIO in Germany.
Thank you very much. We are pleased to have you here today, Ralf. Our second guest is Dirk Bott. Dirk is Global Vice President at MSX International. Could you please introduce yourself, Dirk?
Thanks, Mouna. Yeah, as Ralf, I'm also an auto guy, car guy, since 30 years in the business. I lived in Sweden, in Germany, in China, in the US, had their leading roles. And now since 12 years with MS6, and we are supporting OEMs to transform and adjust to the new market requirements, but also disruptors entering with an efficient and effective go-to-market strategy.
Thank you very much, Dirk. My name is Mouna Ayed, so I'm globally leader for MSX International. I'm in this company since 15 years, in leading roles, leading programs on global and European level, and I'm very pleased again to have you here today. I'm gonna ask Ralf the first question. So, how do you think the manufacturers like Chinese automakers would differ in their approach to market versus the, let's say, the traditional OEMs or established OEMs?
What is the, let's say, the target of those new entries? The target is to conquest customers. And I think to conquest customers in a saturated market, that they're trying to set new standards or to find new ways. I think one thing those new entries and the existing manufacturers have in common, it's all about the trust and the confidence of the customer. And what we see is that, for example, Chinese companies, they're looking for new ways to capture this trust or this confidence of the customers. And what we can see is that there are two ways. One is they do everything themselves, so direct to the consumer. Or other brands like MG, for example, which have entered the market some years ago already, they work through dealers. And I think the way those brands who take care about the customer directly is totally different. And why is it different? Because they have a kind of user-centric approach or customer-centric approach. So it's all about the customer. It's all about satisfying those customers, and this is something where they act in a different way.
Thank you very much, Ralf. I mean, it's very, very interesting to hear about, you mentioned new standards, new ways. So how do you think those new strategies would impact the OEMs, the established OEMs?
One thing is the direct communication, I think, which is different, especially if you work D2C. You don't have which is an advantage and disadvantage at the same time, you don't have a big dealer network, so you don't need to coordinate, for example, train and so on, the whole sales guys and service guys and so on. But on the other hand, if you have a small network, you don't have the, let's say, the geographical coverage. I mean, that is, as I said, advantage, disadvantage at the same time. On the other hand, what those companies who work D2C do in a different way, or where they have an advantage, what I believe is in the way they look at their leads. They look at the conversion rates. So they can see on a daily basis really how many leads were coming in, how many test drives did I have, how many cars did I sell. You see the response time and so on. So you can measure clearly those things. And the most important thing is you can take actions immediately with your own people. So you don't have to discuss with dealers about those things. And you don't have to discuss whose lead or whose customer it is and who is responsible for what. So there's a, let's say, there's a through line which runs the company and which is purely focusing on the customer.
Yeah, very great, I think, insight. So basically focus on the customer. That is a good transition for my next question to you, Dirk. So how do you think those strategy would impact customer engagement?
Thank you, Mouna. Yeah, first of all, I think what have arrived much earlier also in another industry is the expectation from the customer. Today, the customer would like to decide when, where, and what they decide, online or offline. I mean, he will decide when he would like to step into this purchase process. And this customer journey, it is not one customer journey. It differs by customer cluster. It differs by the region, by the country, by the brand, and even within a brand, it could differ by product, this customer journey. So this means you need a lot of experience to build this customer journey if you would like to transform it from a cultural aspect, financial aspect, as well as business aspect. And here again, it is a balance that you consider all these different aspects. It's not only a customer journey from a business perspective, you need to consider the culture, but as well as a financial aspect, because in the end it has to be profitable. And to build this seamless journey, with this complexity, require a lot of experience, because in the end it is not the point to establish one digital touch point as an example, which could be very successful as a standalone. It has to be connected to the other digital touch point as well as to the offline journey. And this is really the challenge I think a lot newcomers have, but also the established OEMs to adjust to these new customer expectations, customer journey, as you would like to say it.
Thank you very much, Dirk. So it's basically there is a big transformation going on right now to make sure that we are, let's say, satisfying the new way to engage customers. And I guess the established OEMs, they have to adapt their sales strategies. Yes. Could you please elaborate on this?
I mean, if I take this point earlier from the different customer journeys and from their expectations, so this means they also expect different formats. Different sales formats and formats which are also connected to the online journey. This means the formats today which are established, they follow a certain purpose. They are not only now a print format or something else. And this purpose, if you are staying within the area of sales, it could be in the sales funnel, building awareness, converting leads, building loyalty and all these kind of things. But this means also a lot of investments, because you need to be flexible, you have to have new formats, you need to rebuild your distribution network. And to cover these investments, you need to reduce your structural cost. Reducing structural cost means, and what we also have experienced and supported, is rebuilding the field teams, huge field teams, also in a different way. Or to bundle services, to use more the Genesis effect, meaning putting certain functions and services under one hub. So these are really the structural changes. On the other side, it could be also the introduction of digital tools which are more cost efficient but also are more productive. As an example, the visual connection, a virtual showroom. A virtual showroom you can use in an efficient and effective way without a border. And it even can replace, in certain markets, different formats. Here, this is a typical example where you can gain more or less a higher level of awareness, on the other hand, reducing costs.
Thank you very much. So it sounds very complex, I think, to adapt. So what do you think the challenges are for established OEM in order to adapt? I think you've mentioned a few of them, but maybe we can enumerate them again.
Yeah, I think and I take also this what Ralf have said before me, and then to I mean complexity, speed, formats, changes, all this we have heard now, and this requires certain experience and skill sets. So, and these skill sets often are not in a traditional OEM available, due to the fact ordering a car from pull to push is totally different. We also have mentioned decision, try and error. Decisions to make a decision in a traditional OEM goes mainly via different pillars and silos. If we are now copy-paste a little bit what has happened in markets since long, if we are seeing Spotify, Google, Microsoft, etc., they are working much more beyond these different classical departments like sales and after sales and finance. And we have analyzed in total you need 10 functions within this in this area. If I put these complexities, skills and experience together, there's one other factor which coming on top, and this make really the big challenge: speed. The execution and go-to-market have to be in a certain time frame, in a certain time window. And if you now see that different skill sets have to be considered, new customer expectation, all this complexity, to be competitive and to be really successful in the market, you need to be fast. Fast in a, of course, under the circumstances.
Thank you very much. I mean, very insightful, Dirk. So we heard from Dirk about all the adaptation that established OEM are trying to put in place. Do you believe, Ralph, those would compete against the strategies of the new entrants?
Sure. I mean, by the end of the day, the new entrants are challenging the existing companies. I mean, they are pushing the transformation. And I think if you look at the market and look at the customers, and the market is saturated in Europe. I mean, there's some years with growth, some years without growth, but by the end, it's a saturated market. And I think for the new entries, it's all about conquest, taking away from the existing ones. For the existing ones, it's all about loyalty. I mean, they would like to loyalize and keep their customers, and maybe also win some customers because they would like to gain some more market shares. And I think this situation is supporting what Dirk is saying. And for me, also the let's say the flexibility, how they go to the market with try and error, with the speed. Often we talk about China speed. I think these are very important points. If you look at how the new ones do it and how the existing ones should change to do it.
Absolutely. So very, very great. Thank you so much, Ralph. So I guess you've mentioned one interesting, I think, point is you said they are dependent on each other. So I guess the disruptors could also benefit from some of the OEM strategies, Dirk, isn't it? So.
Yes, definitely. I think there are different points, and we touched a few things, and one is brand loyalty. Yeah. I mean, the OEMs know how important brand loyalty is, the disruptors as well, but the OEMs have done a lot of activities and measures to increase the brand loyalty. And of course, here you can also learn a lot from. The other aspect I would like to mention, and Ralph has said it in the beginning and also in the introduction, building up a network, working together with partners, I mean, not only network. In the area of sales and after sales, I mean, these are important aspects you should consider if you do and execute your go-to-market strategy in the beginning or definitely in phase 2. But one point I would like really to emphasize, and these are the basics, the foundation. Reflecting what has happened the last 2 years also here in Europe, and we're talking a lot about Chinese manufacturers, of course, they are also much more from Asia or also outside Asia. And key is, and you saw that it is successful or not successful if you do the basics right. And I'm not talking here about the after sales, basically what you also saw in the press, like homologation is not ready, registration, or a few other things. I'm talking about the sales, to launching a brand. You're getting prospects, you're getting leads, you're getting requests for test drive. And everything, and Ralph also mentioned it, it have to be online and offline representing your brand. And if you're not prepared for these basics to handle the prospects in the right way from your brand perspective, you will be not able to launch the product as well as the brand again. And our experience are here really from the last years, and some also have disappeared now again from the European market. It's the basic we're not prepared in a structured and good way. So this, I think, is definitely something have to happen, and they can learn from the OEMs because they're doing it, traditional OEMs, because they're doing it very well.
I think the biggest challenge is, I think a horizontal customer journey to build is very easy. But always if it goes vertical, and then back to the, let's say, back, as I said, from online to offline, and always the switch. And by the end of the day, you need an answer for every question a user is raising. And I think those things need to be combined. And by the end of the day, those, let's say, organization, the structure needs also to be reflected in systems. And what I see is that many Chinese brands also bring their own systems. They come with a high self-confidence because their success is kind of proving them right in China. Mm-hmm. And I think, let's say, this system integration of European systems, and which not only contains of talking to the customer, but also reflecting processes in the background, everything which is behind the curtain is very important.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, great insight. Thank you very much. I mean, I think we've covered a lot of ground today in our discussions, and we've been through challenges, new strategies, good practice from both sides, OEMs, established OEMs and disruptors. So to wrap up our discussion, let's reflect really on the key takeaway. So Dirk, what are the lessons learned today from disruptors?
I would like to summarize it in 3 points perhaps. innovation as a differentiator. And innovation could be here different perspective. We have mentioned the product, we have mentioned how to make a seamless journey between offline and online, how to build a network. Innovation, I think, we talked about try and error, so I think it is really something where I'm very happy about the disruptors because they shaked up a little bit here our traditional way and we're following the customer more. So we really can learn from it, and I think we also have learned from it. Also, everyone have adjusted or try or in the process to adjust. The second point is the importance of the brand. So a brand, strong brand narrative is really necessary to tell the story, to build up loyalty, to differentiate between all the different traditional OEMs, between all the disruptors. So this is really key. And as a third point is to have the right balance. And this is also to have the right balance between disruption and market reality. In the way you can see brands which have it, which are on the path of success, and some others perhaps need to adjust here a little bit also more to the market reality and not only disrupt. I mean, and balance is perhaps also a word we have heard today very often in our discussion, because it's not right or wrong. It is to have the right balance, and to have the right balance is a lot of experience, a lot of skill sets also needed.
Thanks, Dirk. And you've mentioned the market and the fast-changing market. How do you think disruptors should navigate across the evolving market of today?
First of all, they should continue with the things they are doing very well and right. And this is number one, I think, is this flexibility. And Ralf have mentioned this also in the beginning. And the second thing besides the flexibility, I think, is this innovative way of working, the innovative path. I mean, these two things are really outstanding, beside a lot of other things. I think if I also mention two things, now perhaps they could perhaps review or think over are the basics. I mean, really to be prepared in certain elements which are absolutely necessary. I mentioned earlier as a sales funnel or homologation. I think this is really key. And also to have the right go-to-market strategy, which going from in different phases, from disruptions also to sustainable growth. At a certain point, after certain investments, of course, you need to know when the next phase start, when you start really a sustainable, profitable growth path.
Thank you very much, Dirk.
You're welcome.
Valuable
Thank you.
insight. Thank you. So we've talked today a lot about the good things that the disruptors are doing and where they can improve. What about the focus for established OEMs? So what should they do in order to have a successful future?
I think one thing is very important. As I said, that existing OEMs, they need to keep their customer base and their car park to sustain a profitable business and to keep their business running. I think that is very important. So I think they should take a clear positioning towards the new entries. On the other hand, the new entries, they're also looking for a clear positioning. I mean, they actually have to, how can I say, they have to position themselves towards two institutions. One is the, let's say, the brands who join them by entering the market, for example, Chinese brands. I mean, you just don't want to be just one of the Chinese brands. You want to be, let's say, a brand with a clear focus. And on the other hand, this is how those brands will attack the existing OEMs, is that they try to position against the existing brands. And I think, therefore, let's say the invest into a clear brand positioning is very important. But also, as Dirk mentioned before, there needs to be a focus on speed, on flexibility, and on a slim organization. And by the end of the day, it's all about, as I said, customer centricity, because those new entries, they challenge the existing ones by taking care about the customer. Customer satisfaction is kind of defined in a new way, and I think this is also something where existing OEMs need to look into.
Thank you very much, Ralph. I mean, thanks to both of you. I think it was a very good conversation, very insightful. So I hope that our audience also like it and found it helpful. I would like to invite you to connect to our website, www.msxi.com. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you very much.